we're going to take the reel in our hand. And if you don't have anybody to help you, like if you're on the boat ramp doing this before your buddy comes to fish with you, lay your line down, put some tension on your line with your hand, and then just start reeling it, and it'll go on there smooth. And then as I'm reeling in and picking up speed, I will let the rod tip down, and I will look, and if that line is twisting up really bad, I will walk up and turn this spool over to see if it will twist less going that way. And this is not really that important, because the purpose of this is we're going to show you, after you spool this line up, how to get rid of the twists. You want to put your line on your spool, and you want to leave it at least 1/8 of an inch down from your spool rim. If you don't do that, it'll have a tendency to come off your reel. So you want to leave it down about 1/8 of an inch, and that will be plenty full. Go back to your line while you've got a lot of it still out off the end of your rod. Go ahead and take it off there, and you're ready. But at this point, this is a mistake most people make, is they go ahead, they pick up their jig, and they go and tie it back on. But here's what you want to do to relieve your line twist. What I like to do is, when I'm setting at my boat, I'll put my rod in a rod holder, and I'll open that bail. And now what I want to do is, if you're a place where you've got plenty of room, you want to take off walking and pull all of this line out, and just walk on to where you take 100 yards of it or so out, more than you know you're going to use. And when you get to the end of the line, we're going to lay this down and let the twist come out of it. Now, after you've walked your line out, come back to your reel, close your bail, pick your rod up, and again, put your finger up here as far as you can reach to put a little tension on your line to get it seated on your reel good, and just start winding it back in. And what that's going to do is, as you're bringing it back in, it's going to de-twist. And the stronger the breeze, sometimes the better. That line's up in the air, it's just going to completely de-twist. When you get it back to you, you leave enough out off the end of your rod, and you grab a hold of your end, and you tie your jig on, and you're ready to fish. So that is the way, number one way, when you're by yourself, to do that. And one of the best things to do, if you've got a buddy with you, is let him walk the line out for you and stretch it before he turns it loose, and then have him turn it loose, reel it in, and you're ready to go. That'll get rid of your line twist when you're putting new line on your reel. And then next, we're going to show you how to do it when you're on the water. Okay, version number 2, which probably is the easiest to do when you're straightening line. And this is on one when inevitably you're going to get some line twist in your line after fishing a jig for a while, or whatever you're throwing. See how it twists up around the end? That can get to be a habit and a pain. So what we're going to do is, now we're going to straighten this line while we're in a boat. I have a lot of guys that fish with me that say, man, I've got a lot of twist in my line. I said, well, let's just get rid of it. And here's what you do. First of all, you take off whatever you've got on there. I don't want a swivel or anything left on my line. Start off by taking whatever's on the end of your line and just let your line blow in the breeze right there. And one other thing that I like about doing this is, what I'll do is I will let my line down in the water, and I will put the boat on an idle, and we'll just keep letting line out until you let, a good portion of your line out, or all of your line. And as that water drags your line out, it actually is going to de-twist. So we'll just take off, and we'll watch our spool to see when we're getting close to having enough line out. And a good rule of thumb is, you can let it all out and do it, or just do what you know more, that's farther than what you're going to be able to cast. And one thing that's nice about doing it this way is, you can also watch your locator as you're idling along and look for fish. So you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But this line's been on this reel for a little while, and I've got to help it out a little. But after I get it out so far, then I'll just lock my bail down and just pull it a little ways. And see all the tension out there on the rod tip? That's actually stretching that line too. But you don't have to pull it very long. Just pull it for a little while. Take your boat out of gear, and there's enough pressure on that line that you can just start reeling it in. Just a good steady pace. And what that's doing is, that line is de-twisting as you're reeling it in. When you get it up close to the boat, as you'll see in just a minute, we will just raise it up, and let the wind go ahead and finish taking the twists out, and then you're ready to go again. Now it's getting close to the boat. What I like to do, especially if there's a breeze, is go ahead and raise it up. And if you'll notice, that line is not even twisted. So we've got the twist out of it, and you're ready again. Tie your jig on and go to fishing.